Story 1. Once upon a time, during my school years, I formed a strong bond with my close friends, Jason and Brian. We shared countless adventures together. However, as graduation approached, an unfortunate event occurred. Jason's family had to relocate to Lexington, South Carolina due to his father's work. After completing our graduation, Jason settled down with his family in their new house. To ease our boredom, Brian and I decided to pay Jason a visit for a weekend. In search of excitement, we embarked on a hiking expedition through the nearby forest and countryside, discovering a picturesque river along the way. The area exuded tranquility, captivating us with its beauty. Lost in the allure of nature, we continued following the meandering river, oblivious to the directions of upstream or downstream. As the sounds of civilization grew distant, our concern for finding a telephone to contact Jason's parents escalated. Despite the absence of paved roads nearby, we persevered, determined to locate a phone and request assistance. Our journey led us to a peculiar sight, an old church-like structure constructed with weathered red bricks. The building was surrounded by overgrown foliage, with a dirt parking lot and a rugged path leading to it. Curiosity piqued, we decided to explore the interior, hoping to find people who could lend us their phone and provide directions. Upon entering, we discovered several ancient vehicles, possibly from the 72nd or 82nd, dirty, rusted, with flat or missing tires. All of them were once white but had faded over time. Aligned in a row, they occupied the dirt parking lot. As we approached, we heard the sounds of gospel music and singing emanating from within the church, which offered us a glimmer of relief. Inside, we witnessed a congregation of roughly 24 individuals, dressed modestly despite their evident poverty. The ambience within the church felt antiquated and dilapidated. Our gazes met the eyes of an elderly white-haired woman wearing horn-rimmed glasses, engrossed in playing the piano. As she halted her melody, her expressionless face fixated upon us. What happened next chilled us to the core, etching a memory we would never forget. The entire congregation ceased their singing, setting aside their psalm sheets. Slowly, in unison, they turned their heads, gazing at us with vacant, unwelcoming stares that sent shivers down our spines. Jason attempted to apologize for the interruption, explaining our need to make a phone call to his parents for assistance. Silence enveloped the church, broken only by the creaking of wooden pews under the weight of those seated. With a lingering sense of dread, we retreated slowly, backing out of the door, which closed behind us, sealing us off from that eerie scene. Exchanging apprehensive glances, we quietly departed, leaving the unsettling encounter behind. Following our instincts, we continued walking along the dirt road, leaving the church and its haunting atmosphere behind. Brian pointed out that there were no crosses or Christian symbols present within the church, further adding to the unease that had settled upon us. Glancing back up the road, we discovered a group of about a dozen men, all having emerged from the church, now standing attentively and observing our departure. Fear gripped our hearts as we quickened our pace, breaking into a sprint up that dirt road, desperate to distance ourselves from those haunting gazes. Time seemed to stretch on as we fled, drenched in perspiration, for what felt like an eternity. Eventually, we reached an ancient, run-down gas station, a relic reminiscent of the full-service stations of old. Entering the station, we found mostly empty and dusty shelves. A weathered, overly tanned man with a greasy baseball cap sat behind the counter, engrossed in reading a tattered book with yellow pages and ragged edges. Startled, he glanced up at us, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of weariness. "You boys lost, huh?" he muttered, his voice gravelly. He gestured towards the direction we had come from and continued. "Just head back that way, make a left at the telephone pole, and follow the trail. It'll lead you to a highway." We thanked him hastily, eager to leave the unsettling ambience of the gas station. As we resumed our journey, making our way down the road towards the telephone pole, a nagging feeling compelled us to glance back. To our horror, the old man stood outside the gas station, his arms folded, wearing a sinister grin that revealed a row of decaying teeth. Dread coursing through our veins, we hastened our steps, reaching the telephone pole and making the promised right turn onto the trail. The encroaching darkness of twilight added an eerie ambience to the surrounding woods. Time seemed distorted as we ventured deeper into the unknown, our hearts pounding with trepidation. After what felt like an eternity of navigating the obscure trail, we finally emerged onto a desolate highway. Exhausted and disoriented, we attempted to flag down passing vehicles in hopes of finding assistance. However, our pleas for help were met with indifference, as each passing car ignored our desperate gestures. Just as despair began to settle upon us, a glimmer of hope appeared in the form of a police car. Spotting our distress, the officer pulled over to offer his assistance. We eagerly explained our predicament, providing Jason's address as our intended destination. The officer's eyebrows raised in surprise as he muttered, "You boys really were lost." During the car ride back to Jason's house, the officer shared a cautionary tale, warning us about the dangers lurking within those woods. He spoke of stories passed down through generations, tales of enigmatic witch-like figures who inhabited the shadows, casting malevolent spells and ensnaring unsuspecting wanderers. The officer dropped us off safely at Jason's home, leaving us with a newfound appreciation for our secure surroundings. As we bid him farewell, our hearts overflowed with gratitude for his timely intervention. We entered the house, enveloped by warmth and familiarity, vowing never to venture into those woods again. Days turned into weeks, and the eerie encounter at the church faded into a haunting memory. Yet, late at night, as shadows danced upon our bedroom walls, we couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, the echoes of vacant stares still lingering in our minds. We never spoke of that fateful weekend to anyone else, fearing that recounting the tale would breathe life into the lingering unease that had settled within us. It became our shared secret, a bond forged through an experience that blurred the lines between the tangible and the supernatural. Years passed, and life led us down different paths. Jason and I remained close friends, forever bound by the chilling escapade of our youth. Though we continued to tread separate journeys, our shared past continued to serve as a reminder of the darkness that lurks beyond the veil of the familiar. To this day, whenever we reunite, our conversations inevitably steer towards that ominous weekend. We ponder the fate of those forsaken souls within the desolate church and the mysteries that shrouded the woods. The questions linger, haunting us, reminding us that even in the realm of the ordinary, a hint of the supernatural can manifest, forever altering the fabric of our existence. And so, the tale of our ill-fated visit to Jason's new home, the encounter with the enigmatic church, and the whispering shadows of the witch-like figures that watched us from the woods remain etched in our collective memory. It serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that there are realms beyond our comprehension, lurking in the periphery of our everyday lives. Over time, our curiosity about the church and its eerie inhabitants grew. We delved into local folklore, uncovering fragments of legends and stories surrounding the area. It was said that the church had been abandoned long ago, a place forgotten by time but inhabited by the tormented spirits of those who once sought solace within its walls. Determined to unravel the mysteries that plagued our thoughts, we embarked on a mission to revisit that forsaken church. Armed with cameras, audio recorders, and a newfound courage, we ventured back into the heart of the haunting woods. As we approached the dilapidated church, an unsettling hush fell upon the surroundings. The once overgrown path leading to the church had cleared, revealing a path seemingly untouched by time. The air felt charged with an otherworldly energy, intensifying our trepidation. We cautiously entered the church, our footsteps echoing through the desolate space. The stained glass windows cast eerie hues upon the decaying pews, as if the colors themselves were tainted by the darkness that resided within. Using our equipment, we began to document our exploration, capturing every creaking floorboard and whispering breeze. As we delved deeper into the church's history, we discovered tales of a malevolent presence that had plagued the area for centuries. The spirits of those who had once sought refuge in the church were said to have fallen victim to a curse, forever bound to the decaying walls and doomed to wander the surrounding woods. Legends spoke of their resentment towards outsiders, their vacant stares concealing an insidious intent. As the night wore on, our investigation took a sinister turn. Disembodied voices echoed through the hallways, chilling us to the bone. Shadows danced in macabre patterns, their ethereal forms intertwining with the whispers that reverberated through the air. In the depths of that forsaken place, we encountered something beyond our comprehension. A force, ancient and vengeful, surged through the atmosphere. It manifested as a chilling wind, extinguishing our courage and overwhelming us with a primal fear. Realizing the gravity of our situation, we hastily retreated from the church, leaving behind the enigmatic spirits that haunted its halls. It became clear that some mysteries are best left unsolved, their answers residing in a realm beyond our reach. To this day, the experience remains a haunting memory etched upon our souls. It serves as a constant reminder that there are forces in this world that defy explanation, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the curious and the unwary. The tale of that fateful visit to Jason's new home and the encounter with the church became our personal legend, passed down through whispered conversations and late-night reflections. It serves as a reminder to tread carefully in the unknown, to respect the boundaries of the supernatural, and to acknowledge that some secrets are meant to remain buried in the depths of our imagination. Story 2. A long time ago, approximately 8 years in the past, two friends, James and Sean, embarked on a perilous adventure driven by their insatiable desire for excitement. Although James is no longer part of our close-knit circle, Sean and I often reminisce about that fateful night that forever altered our lives. Back then, we were just 19 years old, residing in New Jersey, a state known for its abundance of vacant houses. Our small town, perched atop a hilly road, held a mysterious secret, an abandoned church that stood as a testament to forgotten times. And locals whispered about its existence, sharing tales of its abandonment for countless years. Being the thrill-seeking troublemakers we were, James, Sean, and I concocted a daring plan to bring a Ouija board to the church one late October night to commemorate the spooky season. Sean, the bearer of the Ouija board, retrieved it from his closet, and I took on the role of the designated driver. First, we picked up James, then Sean, and embarked on a direct route toward the church. As the road leading to the church was blocked off, we parked on the side of the road and began our journey on foot. Guided by a single flashlight at first, we ascended the hill, our trio eventually illuminating the path with our combined lights. The church, nestled amidst an encircling forest, emerged before us, its weathered facade exuding an eerie presence. Graffiti marred its walls, a testament to numerous trespassers before us. The large front door, already ajar, required a concerted effort from two of us to open it, its scraping sound filling the air. Upon entering, we surveyed the surroundings, cautiously scanning the area with our flashlights, ensuring that we were the sole occupants within its haunted walls. Sean promptly set up the Ouija board, unveiling 3 candles from his backpack, cheekily suggesting they would enhance their experience. The candles formed a triangular perimeter around the board, their flickering flames casting an unsettling glow, the sole source of light within the desolate space. With our flashlights switched off, we embarked on our encounter with the otherworldly. Sean initiated the conversation, summoning spirits with the customary cliché question, "Is anybody there?" The planchette responded, its movements evoking laughter among us. Deep down, I knew one of them was responsible for its motion. It seemed inevitable that when friends gather around a Ouija board, one can't resist playfully manipulating the planchette. Nevertheless, we played along, allowing the invisible entity to spell out a few words. As we immersed ourselves in the eerie atmosphere, an unexpected sound emanated from the church's altar. It reverberated through the air, reminiscent of a large piece of wood cracking in half. The sheer volume and intensity of the sound startled us, prompting an instinctive jump and a rush to shine our phone flashlights in the direction of the altar. To our bewilderment, no one stood there. It appeared that we were alone within the church's enigmatic confines. While the incident unnerved us, we attributed it to the church's dilapidated state, dismissing it as another creak or groan from its aged structure. Undeterred, we continued our spiritual exploration, taking turns asking questions to the silent planchette. However, the once responsive planchette ceased its movement. The crack from the altar seemed to have cast a pall over our lightheartedness, engendering a newfound seriousness within our trio. Time passed, our inquiries met with silence until, once again, a peculiar sound shattered the stagnant atmosphere emanating from the vicinity of the altar. Before we could comprehend the source of the sound, a rock, approximately the size of a golf ball, came hurtling through the air, landing abruptly on the Ouija board. The shock of this unexpected occurrence sent all 3 of us leaping to our feet, screaming in fear. None of us had touched the planchette moments before, making it impossible for any of us to have thrown the rock. We raced down the hill, our screams echoing through the night, consumed by an overwhelming sense of being pursued. Fear propelled us forward until we reached my car, where we sought temporary refuge. Parked outside James's house, we remained huddled inside the vehicle for what felt like an eternity, attempting to make sense of the inexplicable events that had just unfolded. Sean, deeply religious and prone to superstition, firmly believed that we had made contact with a restless spirit. His conviction in the supernatural realm was unwavering. Conversely, I held a more skeptical stance, inclined to believe that there had been an intruder within the church, an unsettling thought in itself. The presence of an unknown entity sharing that abandoned space with us filled me with equal measures of dread. The following day, Sean and James returned to the church, their purpose twofold: to retrieve the Ouija board and perhaps shed light on the bizarre circumstances. To their bewilderment, the Ouija board was nowhere to be found, gone without a trace. Strangely, the candles remained exactly where Sean had positioned them, untouched and undisturbed. Sensing an inexplicable malevolence lingering within the church, they swiftly departed, their curiosity eclipsed by a mounting sense of dread. To this day, that harrowing experience remains etched in my memory as the single most terrifying encounter of my life. Though the years have passed and life has taken us on diverging paths, Sean and I still occasionally broach the subject, each retelling imbued with a mix of fascination and trepidation. That night forever altered our perception of the supernatural, leaving an indelible mark on our souls and reminding us of the darkness that can lurk within the abandoned corners of the world. As time went on, the memory of that fateful night continued to haunt us. It served as a constant reminder of the thin veil between the tangible and the ethereal, urging us to question the mysteries that lie beyond our comprehension. We found ourselves drawn to stories of the paranormal, eagerly devouring accounts of ghostly encounters and supernatural phenomena, hoping to glean some semblance of understanding. Sean's belief in the spiritual realm grew stronger with each passing day. He became engrossed in researching ancient rituals, paranormal investigations, and occult practices. His quest for answers led him to explore haunted locations, attend seances, and engage in discussions with self-proclaimed experts in the field. Sean's encounters with the supernatural only fueled his fascination, leaving him both enthralled and wary of the otherworldly forces at play. As for myself, the experience had a different impact. While I maintained my skepticism, I couldn't shake the lingering unease that had settled within me. It was as if that abandoned church had unearthed a dormant fear, whispering to me that there are things in this world that defy rational explanation. I found solace in trying to unravel the rational threads that might explain what had transpired that night. Was it the work of an elaborate prankster? Or did we truly come face to face with a realm beyond our own? Years later, Sean and I decided to revisit the abandoned church, now a mere relic of our past. With trepidation mingled with a sense of nostalgia, we returned to the place that had shaken us to our core. The once overgrown path leading to the church had been cleared, and the dilapidated structure stood before us, weathered and worn by time. Inside, the air was heavy with the weight of forgotten prayers and lost hopes. Dust particles danced in the dim light that filtered through cracks in the decaying walls. Memories flooded back, resurrecting the emotions we had experienced that haunting night. We retraced our steps, reliving the sequence of events, hoping to unravel the enigma that had consumed our thoughts for years. As we stood in the center of the desolate church, a chilling breeze whispered through the broken windows, sending shivers down our spines. It was as if the spirits of the past were whispering their secrets, urging us to understand the truth that eluded us. With a mix of apprehension and determination, we conducted an impromptu investigation, armed with modern ghost hunting equipment. We ventured into the shadows, capturing EVP recordings and snapping photographs in search of spectral evidence. Although our efforts yielded inconclusive results, the tension in the air remained palpable, an eerie reminder of the unknown that dwelled within these haunted walls. Leaving the church that day, we were left with more questions than answers. Our quest for understanding had only deepened, fueling a fascination that would continue to shape our lives. The experience served as a constant reminder that there are realms beyond our perception, and that some mysteries may forever elude our grasp. To this day, whenever Sean and I meet, the topic of that abandoned church inevitably resurfaces. We continue to share our theories and recount the spine-chilling moments we had encountered. While we may never truly comprehend the forces that had converged upon us that night, our shared experience serves as a bond, connecting us through the enigmatic and unsettling world of the supernatural. Story 3. This eerie encounter took place in Warren County, Georgia, a secluded and rural part of the state, far away from the hustle and bustle of city life. My girlfriend Marissa and I were exploring the area, considering it as a potential place to live due to its peaceful and spacious nature. Both of us being Roman Catholics, Marissa had the inclination to visit the local church and see if it would be a suitable spiritual community for us. It was a quiet weekday afternoon, with little traffic on the roads. As we drove past a quaint-looking church nestled alongside a serene road, we noticed a parking lot filled with cars. Marissa suggested we stop by and see if a service or mass was taking place, hoping to get a feel for the atmosphere. Intrigued, I parked next to an old red minivan among the collection of aging vehicles. Stepping into the small church, we found ourselves greeted by an intimate interior as expected. The space contained 5 rows of pews, each divided in the middle by the central aisle. Surprisingly, there were about 20 individuals inside, but what struck us as odd was their age group. Instead of the usual mix of generations found in most religious gatherings, the congregation seemed comprised solely of individuals in their 30 seconds to 40 seconds. This observation puzzled us momentarily, but we assumed it might be a reflection of the demographics in the area. As we settled in the back row, we became aware of a peculiar atmosphere. The people seated near us started casting curious and unwelcoming glances in our direction, one after another. This gaze rippled through the congregation, prompting others to turn their attention toward us. Marissa and I exchanged nervous looks, uncertain of how to respond. Attempting to break the tension, we smiled, but our efforts went unanswered. The unwelcoming stares continued, intensifying our discomfort. Suddenly, a man wearing a mask stood at the front of the makeshift church, near what appeared to be the altar. He pointed directly at us and demanded to know who had invited us there. Taking the initiative, I replied that we had merely stumbled upon the service and wished to participate. It was evident that this man was not a priest, and this gathering deviated drastically from the practices of the Roman Catholic Church. His stern response echoed through the silence, insisting that we leave immediately. Feeling the weight of the entire congregation's eyes fixed upon us, I motioned for Marissa to accompany me as we hastily exited the church. Once outside, we sprinted toward our car, wasting no time in getting away. Glancing in the rearview mirror, we noticed someone from the building entering their van in the parking lot. Panic surged through us when we realized the gray van was now following us. Urgently, Marissa used her phone to navigate to the Warren County Sheriff's Office, and we raced there as our hearts pounded with fear. As we pulled into the safety of the public parking lot, the van continued down the road, disappearing from view. We heaved a sigh of relief, grateful to have escaped the clutches of whatever strange gathering we had stumbled upon. Driving home, we vowed never to venture into Warren County again, haunted by the unsettling questions that lingered. Why did they send someone to follow us? Why were they conducting their meeting in broad daylight? And why hadn't they bothered to lock the door, allowing uninvited visitors like ourselves to enter their enigmatic gathering? The mysteries of that day would forever remain unanswered, serving as a chilling reminder of the hidden secrets lurking in the depths of rural Georgia. As the days passed, Marissa and I couldn't shake off the disturbing encounter in Warren County. We found ourselves delving into research, hoping to uncover any information that might shed light on the peculiar church and its enigmatic congregation. The more we dug, the more unsettling details we unearthed. One evening, while immersed in our investigation, we stumbled upon an old local news article mentioning a series of disappearances in the area over the past few years. Some individuals had gone missing without a trace, leaving the community in a state of fear and confusion. As we delved deeper into the accounts, we couldn't help but wonder if there was a connection between the missing persons and the eerie gathering we had unwittingly stumbled upon. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, we decided to reach out to the Warren County Sheriff's Office to share our encounter and inquire about any ongoing investigations. To our surprise, they acknowledged the disappearances but seemed hesitant to disclose further details. They assured us that they were diligently investigating the matter, but cautioned us to remain cautious and avoid any further engagement with suspicious groups or individuals. Undeterred, we also sought out locals who might have had similar experiences or knowledge about the mysterious church. Through online forums and community groups, we connected with a few individuals who shared chilling tales of encounters with the same congregation. Their stories spoke of bizarre rituals, whispered rumors of a clandestine cult operating in the area, and even whispers of dark forces at play. One person, who requested anonymity, claimed to have once been part of the congregation but managed to escape its clutches. They spoke of brainwashing techniques, psychological manipulation, and the ominous influence exerted by the masked figure we had encountered. According to their account, the church was a front for a sinister organization that preyed on vulnerable individuals, drawing them into its web of control and secrecy. As we delved deeper into the murky underbelly of Warren County, we realized the extent of the darkness that lurked beneath its serene facade. The more we uncovered, the more we felt a responsibility to shed light on the truth and expose the malevolent forces operating in the shadows. Through meticulous research, interviews, and collaboration with local authorities, we gradually pieced together a chilling narrative. The mysterious church served as a recruitment ground for a cult that thrived on manipulation and exploitation. Their practices extended far beyond the walls of that secluded building, and their influence seemed to have permeated throughout the community, ensnaring unsuspecting individuals. With our evidence in hand, we reached out to a fearless investigative journalist known for exposing cults and illicit organizations. Intrigued by our findings, they agreed to take on the story, vowing to uncover the truth and expose the sinister forces plaguing Warren County. Months passed as the journalists delved deep into their investigation, unveiling a complex network of hidden operations, corrupt officials, and brainwashed followers. The Exposed, published in a renowned magazine, sent shockwaves through the region, leading to increased scrutiny and pressure on the authorities to take decisive action. As the truth gradually emerged, the cult's grip on Warren County began to loosen. The community, once shrouded in fear and secrecy, found solace in unity and resilience. The missing persons cases were reopened, and efforts to bring justice to those affected gained momentum. While the sinister church and its congregation seemed to have dissolved into the shadows, the scars left behind were a stark reminder of the dangers that can lurk even in the most peaceful and rural corners of the world. Marissa and I, having played a small part in exposing the truth, vowed to remain vigilant, spreading awareness about the insidious nature of such organizations and supporting survivors in their journey towards healing and recovery. The haunting experience in Warren County served as a turning point in our lives, igniting a passion for justice and a determination to confront darkness wherever it may hide. The echoes of that eerie encounter would forever resonate within us, a constant reminder to remain vigilant and protect those who might unknowingly stumble upon the web of malevolence woven by hidden cults.